Yo, brother, how are you doing? Good? I always start with this sentence, but it makes sense, right? I really hope you guys are doing great. So today actually is gonna be rest day. It's 9 p.m. right now. I still have to work after this as soon as I get to my house. So that's one reason why I'm gonna go back to my house and not going to the gym instead. Next, I have to wake up really early tomorrow morning to meet my CEO. So holy shit, it's really bad. Like 5 a.m. or something, I have to go to the office to let my boss have a package, which basically means that I'm not gonna be able to go to the gym tonight, like I said, unfortunately. But yeah, it happens sometimes. Yeah, I do visit Sapporo quite often, so that's also gonna be the reason why I'm not gonna go to the gym. But at least for this month, it's still like halfway already. Half of January passed yet, but still, I've been to the gym for 10 days, which is really nice. Because, for example, on for example, on December, I've been to the gym for only 11 times. And on 2025, if I gotta be honest, I haven't been to the gym quite often. Of course, I've been making a lot of, excuses and what are true, what are not true. But yeah, it was really tough on 2025. Although I'm gonna make 2026 a year of fantastic year. Going to the gym, lifting consistently, and having a plan, competing on the stage. That would be really nice. I don't know how many times I'm gonna actually, talk about the same thing, but that's how my goals are fixed. That's how I really want to achieve certain goal, and I'm gonna keep going. So what's my plan tomorrow? I literally just explained what I'm gonna do after this tomorrow. But yeah, I really have to work a lot tomorrow, which is gonna be really I'll feel fatigued early, like before noon, but it is what it is. I just finished something kind of urgent today, so still it makes sense. It makes sense, I guess. So tomorrow night is gonna be arms. I think I'm actually gonna go back to my house earlier than usual because I have to go to my office around like 6:30 ish. So it is what it is. My boss is gonna arrive at Tokyo around like 7-8 ish from Sapporo. So you know what I'm trying to say. I have to meet him, like I said. And yeah, tomorrow arms. On Saturday, I'm gonna do shoulders. I think I'm gonna work out with my friends, so I might change the order. I'll see what actually happens, but I really hope that I could lift. Because if you watched yesterday's vlog, I said that I have to remove my, how do you call that? I have to remove my, actually I forgot. I have to remove my teeth. How do you even call that? Like, it's not supposed to be there, but it somehow is there. So it's not like anything serious. I'm just gonna remove it. The only concern is that after the removal, I'm gonna feel a lot of pain from it, which leads like I'm not gonna be able to lift hard. But still, like my friend said, no pain, no gains. So as far as I can lift, I have my mind on my place, then I'm gonna keep lifting. Oh wait, by the way, I almost forgot to mention about it. I have to talk about something, 2 subscribers incident. Because I'm pretty sure that I had 3 subscribers yesterday, but somehow when I woke up this morning, I had 2 subscribers, which basically means that some of you unsubscribed it. I wonder who did that actually. Like, I'm so curious about it, but it is what it is. Minus 33.3% decrease. I'll take it. Still, we can make it come true, I guess, in the future. I still have to, number on the list yet. I mean, already, so I really expect that's gonna happen in a while. That's about the 2 subscribers instant. I'm kind of sad, but it is what it is. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep doing until it works. So yeah, why not? Once I hit 3, that means that I'll be able to hit 3 again, hopefully. All right, what are we having today? I just finished my grocery trip just before, because I have a really cheap grocery store right next to my office, so sometimes I finish there, which saves me a lot of money from it. I bought like 6,000 yen ish, which is like $40 in USD, and I can survive like almost, I'm not gonna say a week, but at least for breakfast and dinner for a week. So it's solid, right? It's really solid. If I don't, like go to anywhere like a restaurant or something. But I have a rule. I have a strict rule that when I'm alone, I'm never gonna go to any restaurant or something like fancy places, even ramen, because that's always a place that you overconsume something, you compensate something. That, like, it's not invisible because you would recognize it, of course, but those small amount of money as on top of the, not bills, but it really hurts later. So that's what I'm trying not to overspend. And yeah, I think that'll make sense at some point, because I've been spending a lot of money recently, traveling, purchasing, food, good amount of product, like a product which has a lot of protein in it. What else? I really love eating Greek yogurt, and it's not too like cheap, right? I'm buying Oikos. I think that's also in the US. When I was in the US, I used to buy Chobani. It is really famous, right? So yeah, I really love Greek yogurt, because instead of like eating something like ice cream, I mean, I love ice cream as well, and like donuts and stuff, but obviously it has a lot of fat in it, so I kind of, I try not to take those kind of food. I want to drink some. When I talk a lot, my throat feels really, not throat, but my voice feels really dried. Yeah. So I was checking the notes. What am I gonna talk today? This next topic is how's life in Japan. Because I was talking about the grocery stores, a grocery strip. One day I really want to do it, but in Japan, a lot of places, don't accept those kind of filming. Like, for example, in the gym, anti-fitness, especially when it's like staff hours, they gotta say like, oh dude, you can't have that tripod, you can't film it, even if I'm trying to see the posing, or not posing, because posing I'm gonna do in a room, different room where we don't have many people. Like how your posture, like a lifting is going, they don't allow that apparently. So I'm kind of sad. But back in the days, I had another gym membership, which is like a gym which is like in a city hall, so it was quite cheap, but it wasn't 24/7. Also, they don't like allow filming at all, like not even, I mean, like literally none. They ban filming, not even like taking a photo. So I was kind of sad about it, but it is what it is. I was there for about like a year. It wasn't Hachioji, it's like a city in Tokyo. It was alright. That was my first gym experience. because they used to have something like, probably they do have that right now as well, that whenever you go to the gym, because typically you have to get a membership which costs you monthly, right? But you can pay daily and it's really cheap. It was like something like $1, $2, something like that. So it's not too shabby, right? It was alright in my opinion, so I really enjoyed it. Wait a minute. So yeah, how's the day in the life in Japan comparing to other countries? Because let's say I lived in the States, especially West Coast. It was Seattle. It's not lived, travel, but it was really long, like 3 months-ish. It was Seattle and LA. It was nice. I met my friend from there. I made a lot of friends. It was really nice. And also UK. I was living in Bunbury for like 3 months as well. It was like an exchange students program or something, so nothing too serious, but I was living there, so I'll call it I was living there. It's right next to Oxford, so you know, there's nothing, like literally nothing. I mean, comparing the US to the States, I mean, no, UK to the States, UK is too small. I mean, you could say so, because I was thinking of Japan as well. It's really small, but UK is like much smaller than that, which surprised me, because when I was young I thought UK is much bigger than, you know, bigger than in Japan. My grammar is mess, but you get my point. So yeah, I mean, yeah, so comparing those kind of aspects, the only thing I really love about Japan is the safety, because we ban, I mean, we would never be able to, you know, like have guns, like ammunitions. But in the States, I remember that 47 states are allowed, I mean, legally allowed to have weapon, right? So yeah, I was terrified as well. I mean, as F, I was terrified as fuck when I was living in the US, because I didn't have any ammunitions. I didn't know how to protect myself, so the only resource that I had was not to get outside at night. Which once I did get outside at night was in LA, but it was with my friends, so it was alright, I guess. I mean, apparently I didn't, you know, like have any problem from that, so yeah, it was alright. So let's say the second point, I mean, let's talk about something negative. Bro, my English is scuffed today as well, like as usual, but we gotta keep, you know, practicing. So the downside about Japan is we got less diversity. So as you can see, I'm half Japanese, half Nigerian, so I'm mixed. Living, you know, like as mixed back in the days, like 10 years ago, couple decades ago, it was bad. It was really bad, because we have a diversity rate. I mean, in particular for like 2000s to 2020, the ratio of Japanese are 99% in Japan. So, no, it was 99.9 if I'm not mistaken. So I'm among like 0.01% of population, which is so small, obviously. And I mean, at this point I really enjoy it, but back in the days, you know, like I got bullied, I got, you know, punished from that consequence. So it wasn't too good, to be honest, but I'm not the only one who has that kind of experience, obviously, so I don't really mind, to be honest. It is what it is. It tends to happen, to be honest. I've been honest for all the time, but I kept abusing it, to be honest. The only time I use, you know, I abuse, to be honest, is when, you know, when I'm not feeling comfortable, if I have to say so. And that's now, because talking about bullies and stuff are not always good, you know. Even if you are No, you were the one who got bullied. But it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Because you can't like. I do sometimes appreciate the moment because I'm kind of tough right now compared to. I mean, I'm not gonna compare to any others, but I would consider myself that I'm kind of tough compared to maybe any others who lives in Japan. Mentally, of course, physically, but that's not the point here because I just I go to the gym and lift hard. So yeah, of course, physically as well. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate my consistently making like a lot of effort towards lifting hard. But yeah, other aspect, I think I have to not have to, but I'll keep talking about this kind of topic for over and over because it's just my 5th or 6th video. I'm not like precisely expressing what I had in the days, back in the days, what my experience was. So by the days, not by the days, by the day goes when I'm capable of talking or speaking English more fluently, then I think those are the milestones when I'm gonna talk about this kind of topic. What else though? We clearly have a working problem. I've never worked in another country, so I won't justify someone or a certain role to be like positive or negative, but at least from my perspective and others' perspective as well, like we have a lot of opinions. For instance, the state's citizen sees like what happens or what sounds like to work in Japan, and it's really terrible because I think you get my point from this kind of vlog. Like, okay, I have to work after this and I have to work really early tomorrow morning, and this is not rare in my workplace. So maybe like other companies have such problems, but especially if it's like a venture, then you never ask for like overwork or something. I'm not getting paid for overwork. I think I have like at least, let's say, I can't guess, but okay, at least I'm not gonna guess, I'm not gonna estimate about it. Last year, I had at least 80 hours per month. At least. Isn't that crazy? And I'm not getting paid for the overwork. Of course, I get paid decently a lot in general anyways, but I think that's not enough to consider that, okay, I'm down with this kind of role. I'm down, working here, paying my bills, having my life, enjoying my life. So yeah, I've never enjoyed my life as soon as I get into this company. Like, I'm just keep trying to be more hungry about my career. But I'm just keep trying to pay my bills and trying to live up with my surroundings and going to the gym. So that's the only thing I've been pursuing for these couple years, I would say. So I've been working as an employee for a couple years, but it's not too good. Like I said before, I don't have any partner, so also nothing fancy happening in my life. So I really hope something happens, but we need to make actions to have to not increase, but improve our lives or our surroundings, what we're pursuing. So that's what I'm trying to do this year, and you can see with this vlog. I'm kind of confident talking of course in Japanese, but in English recently, because I've been working as a cashier as an overwork, because my company somehow owns, a cafe. They don't have much employees right now, so me and my boss sometimes have to go there. And we have a lot of foreigners recently, so that makes totally different with my experience, because I'm more exposed in using English in general, so that's also helping me. But not every day, so I really think that this kind of vlogging helps me a lot. So other aspects, I should have like make some notes or something, like spreadsheet, not spreadsheet, but like Google Documents or something, you know, like I note up what's different compared to other countries. But I think those two things are the most controversial things, which I've mentioned. That one, diversity. Two, what was a work situation. Like students, I think like, because as a student I wasn't like focusing on anything, to be honest, so I cannot like correctly justify whether or not it was nice, or you know, like it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, as a student, okay, let's talk about it since we have time. I really loved that when I was in the UK, we had a tea time on around like 3 p.m. or something. I really love tea time because we had to, you know, like, no, we could have like eat something like cookies and teas, coffees, which took like, it was around like 15 minutes or something, but I really enjoyed it. Meanwhile, we don't have that in Japan, so we just have a noon break, which is about like 40 to 50 minutes in general. I mean, it's alright, but we just, you know, like brought some bento. It's like a lunchbox in Japan, which is called bento. I think it's quite popular, right? As now, we had bento and pretty much eat them and go to the next classroom. I remember about something, but do you, like, as an elementary school students, do you guys have something like a playground time? Because when I was in elementary school, during noon break, I had something like something called this guy's pissing me off, bro. I'm so sorry. And I had a situation when, you know, a guy who's riding a bike or like literally on the road still. It was pissing me off. Anyways, yeah, do you guys, or like, were you like allowed to play in a play yard? Do you call it play yard? Or maybe like in a gymnastic, like not monument, how do you call it? Probably gymnastic. Not gymnastic. Wait. There's a, you know, there's a hole where you can, you know, play basketball, like dodgeball, this and that, like badminton. I don't know how, I mean, it's like a facility. I forgot how to call it, but I should have I should have heard it like at least once for sure in my entire life. But were you guys allowed to play outside? When I was in UK, it was in middle school, so it was kind of allowed because it has, you know, like it had really big facility, and I mean, school was really big. So anyways, like we could have like play like football, tennis, just running around. It was really, you know, like interesting. But how it works all over the world, like in the US, in like Australia, any other countries where you live, maybe in like Morocco, Turkey. I really want to know about it. I want to hear it from you guys, but let's see how it goes, because we're gonna dig this kind of like topic over and over, like I said. Anyways, so, and also like I really want to get my mic one day, because I really have to, you know, like talk out loud, not like that, so that my phone's mic is gonna pick up my voice. But I get really tired talking like this, so I really hope one day I could get a mic or something and, you know, talk in a chill way, because my voice is kind of low, but I'm trying to, like, somehow make it higher, so that high key per se, so that the mic is gonna pick my voice up. Anyways, I really want to know how, you know, it works all over the world as a student, as a juvenile, as a, you know, adult. as a guy who works, doesn't have to be a guy, but as a man, no, as a man, as an individual who works, I'm actually gonna ask about it, like to probably my parents, because what my mom's, not moms, I don't have multiple moms. What my mom do is that he's a teeter. Not teeter. Oh my god, my pronunciation today is scuffed. Like, it's not even like comparable, like to other days. Anyways, my mom is a teacher who teaches English. So yeah, she's native, almost native in English. So I wish she taught me English, but I think it's really different, like teaching certain things to your child, because I kind of get it, because you get like kind of nervous, and especially like when you're forced to do something, then you don't obey that. And like, at least for my case, it didn't happen, because I used to reject a lot of things from my parents. For instance, like my dad always told me that, okay, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor. That's a typical thing, especially for, if if you're from if your dad is from Nigeria, any other African country, because if you have that kind of like prestigious job, then I think they are like they feel really happy. They are like fixed in their life financially, which which apparently I didn't pursue that kind of route, but yeah. And let's say like my mom, always taught me that, okay, I need to go to church. I need to, be more serious about learning English, so that I'll be able to speak English and be able to talk to a lot of people. That's gonna be on top of the journey. But what I'm trying to say is that I should actually have learned English way more seriously, because I was too late. For okay, let's talk about my case. I really wanted to study abroad, for instance, and yeah, the thing is, I didn't recognize that, okay, I want to study abroad until 20 years or something. Maybe a little bit younger, but let's say 18, 19. Because by the time when I was at that age, I was in the college. So if you are able to do something, let's say language, at this point, if you're able to speak English fluently, understand English really well as a child, and your English is not your first language, it's not your mother tongue, that's gonna be really nice, because you have a lot of options. Okay, mom, I want to study abroad, can I get some help from there, from y'all, like that, when you're 17, 16 years old, so that you're gonna be really prepared doing that kind of action, making new actions, getting out of your comfortable zone, which I couldn't make that kind of decision because I wasn't able to talk English fluently, so that I didn't notice or recognize I have such an option, if I have that skills. So yeah, it's not something that I regret very hard, but it's a thing that as well I can say I wish I had that option, So I really hope you guys recognize something earlier. In my case, that was coding, because I started coding from 19-ish. Relatively it's late, but it wasn't too late, So yeah, that's the reason why I have engineer job right now, which I don't like it, but it's all right. Comparing to the other occupations, it's much better, if I have to say so. Because I have to do sales right now. Simultaneously coding, project managing. We have to do a lot. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm trying to think recently. That's my opinion, actually, that if you guys have, like any opportunity to, like acknowledge something that you love earlier, for someone, particularly for me, I really love going to the gym. So that was also the case that I recognized it when I was like 20 years old or something. So it was like 21, maybe. I'm not pretty sure, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's what happened when I was young. I'm relatively young yet, of course, because I'm 24 years old, but not enough to be, like considered as young, in my opinion. But yeah, I kept talking the same thing, but that's my opinion about it. If you guys have any opinion about those kind of like topic, then I'm gonna be really appreciated about it. Also, I acknowledge the problem is that my speaking, like when I speak in English, topic goes here and there, which like makes a lot of people getting confused, in my opinion. And my English is not as good as you guys, so that also makes it like, what is this guy talking about? I'll get used to it one day, though. I'm not used to talking to a camera, because when you have someone, then there are like a topic, there are like how do you call it, like a conversation. So I'm not the only one who's keep talking it, not it, who's keep talking. So yeah, I'll get used to it. I really hope by the time when I have a lot of viewers, I would be able to like at least make more better, of course, decision, better outcome with my expressions. Yeah, pretty much those are the things that I really my pronunciation today is really bad, that I really crave about. Yes, it's already 30 minutes I've been recording. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish for today. Like I said, tomorrow is gonna be arm day. I'll try to like list up some topics on my notebook or something, so that I would be able to like talk in this kind of vlog as a topic. It could be brand new, it could be overused. Let's see how it goes. And probably I need more input to output in this kind of situation, so I would work on it somehow. I've been listening to podcasts like Sam Sulek's daily workout, any other like TED Talks or something every morning, but maybe it's not enough, but we'll see. Until then, I really hope you have a nice day, you have a nice week, you have a nice weekend, because tomorrow is gonna be Saturday when I upload this video. And of course, nice pump. So I'll see you later.